It's a good evening on this Wednesday evening. Front Row Racing World Championship Round 2 in Malaysia. And second race, of course. First car on track is Dom, also known by his PSA name, Overdyking. I'm not sure which one he uses, but one uses echoing badly.
My mic's off.
I can just hear someone echoing. I can hear myself talking. But anyway, Dom on his outlap. And we've got a couple of drivers on track. Two Lotuses on, James and Dom. Dan Evans in the Mercedes. There's another Ferrari just behind him as well. So 15 minutes of course qualifying. We'll be sure to see a very close battle for pole.
Depends if the rain comes in.
No, it is a bit overcast. I just have to take my headset off and talk through my camera. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, just got a bit of feedback through the earphones, so I'm just have to talk through the camera. It still works the same. We'll flick through. We got Kev 187 on track, one of the two Williamses of course, and the other one is also on track. He's on his outlap, so just the outlaps at the moment. We'll try and go back on board with Dom, who's the first one off the pits, and he'll be the first one to do a flying lap as well into the braking zone. Into turn 2, keeps it tight, a little bit untidy through the apex of the corner. As he heads up to turn 4. Not sure if that's just the feed we're getting, but it looked like he was weaving a little bit. Maybe it was just a lag. Very smooth through there and into this double right-hander now. Apologies, not a left-hander. Fairly tidy through there. Ooh, and very careful on the brakes, of course. World Championship don't use any assists at all, so there's no ABS, no traction control, no racing line. So you've got to get every apex spot on as best you can with no assist from the cars at all. And there is a fair mix of, pretty much a 50-50 mix of who's using pad and wheel in this championship. He's on board now, heading down the straight just before the last corner. Seems tidy, didn't use all of the track on the exit, but crosses the line. Of course, it is going to be the fastest time at the moment. He's the only one to set one.
A 1:37.
And Ray, as Ray's just said, a 1:37. A good lap there. Stephen the Force India Dave, of course, in the Williams. We'll go on board for once, just for the time being. Of course, we can arrange the cameras on this year's game, so it's not just the onboard cameras or just following certain cars from certain angles. You can have trackside views, which of course is very beneficial to live streaming. Dom's was 1 minute 37.9, slight lock up there, still makes the apex, probably cost him a tenth or two though, and he's going to cross the line. It's P2, not sure who's gone quicker. Kev though coming to the end of his lap as well. I'm not sure if this is an outlap, but he uses all of the track to get a wider exit and the fastest possible straight line, fastest speed down to the corner. He's P4 at the moment. I'm not sure if he's done that entrance to do another lap or not. We'll soon find out. We'll ride on board with once upon a time a world champion in Front Row Racing.
Rianne sitting in third.
Rianne in third, as Ray just said. Not sure of the time yet, and it looks like Kev is going to do another lap. So we'll stay with Kev. I'll tell you what, Ray, you watched the first race, and even though from our view we didn't actually get much of a viewing on the cameras, you must have seen a pretty good race.
Yeah, well, the first two went away with it. It was just the back end.
And then
a 138, Dan Evans up to third. A 138.659.
So Dan Evans up to third. Kev down to fifth momentarily, but I'll see what type of lap time he can produce here. Into the last corner, he's locked up and he's not found the apex, but still looked pretty quick. We weren't on board, so we don't know, but it is good enough for P1 for Kev. And he goes fastest at the moment.
I think we're looking at a 135, I will 135s for Paul.
James Hulkenberg's down in P10 at the moment. I'm not sure if he's already set a lap or not. He's come out the pits. To have the harp in the Ferrari. Rumours has it that he's got a broken wheel. I'm not sure if he's still using that wheel or not, or if he's back on his pad, but he's in P9 at the moment. Hitman in the Red Bull. Harrison, as he's also known. So there's some very good camera angles on this game to catch a lot of the action. And he's just come through the second last corner into the DRS. It'll be wide open, you can't really see it on broadcasts, but the DRS is open, I can promise you that. Breaking out for the last corner. Brilliant view. Yellow flag's out, I'm not sure what that's for. Harrison's just gone wide on the last corner, heads to the line now, and it's still in P8, so he hasn't improved. Over Dykink in third, we've missed that one. Jamie James is in second, we're not sure where Dave is at the minute, he's down in P4. And just ghosting out, just letting Hitman through.
I know the dynamic weather's starting to affect people because we're used to driving on the dry race from last season, because these cars keep changing.
Replying to a couple of the comments. There's a stop, but on board with Dave. This is an outlap, but maybe on a flare. We'll come back to it. We'll see if anyone else is out on track. James Hulkenberg, this could be a flare. He's in P10 at the moment in the Ferrari. Ooh, finds the air, but I'm not sure if that was just the stream itself. Looks neat and tidy from what I've seen so far. We didn't see the first sector. He's got 4 more corners to go. Through the sector 2 marker, I'm not sure what the time was. We haven't got live timing on the screens. I think Ray's keeping an eye on it though, just seeing what's going on. Second last corner. And finds air again, but again, I'm not sure if that's just what we're seeing on the stream back from the cars on track. I'm not sure he actually jumped in the air. Doesn't look as aggressive into the last corner as we've seen other drivers go.
He's down in his time.
And he goes P4
a 137
though. And a 137. So I feel like sometimes I'm talking over Ray. I'm not sure if you can hear Ray as well, who's sitting in and telling us the times, but it was a 1:37 from James, and it's good enough for P4. We haven't seen much of Steve, he's down in 8th in the Force India. Danev's in 6th in one of the Mercedes. He's coming to what looks like the end of a lap. Not sure if it's an out lap or if it's a flying lap. A little bit of lag. He has got the DRS open, so maybe this could be a flying lap. It would be pointless if he had the DRS open at this point, and it wasn't.
First place is a 136.434. I know if Kev can get it into a 135.
Well, here comes Dave down the straight just before the last corner. He's in P5 at the minute. He needs to find something from something. This looks like a flying lap. We've missed the vast majority of the lap, but can he improve on P5 at the moment? If he wants to keep the pressure on Kevin the championship, he needs a good track position. P2. So it's the usual suspects in 1st and 2nd. Both Williams locking out the front row at the moment. Sergeant Hitman looks like he's going again for another lap. Steve coming to the end, heavy lock up into the 2nd last corner.
Dave's got a second to find to keep the pressure on him. On Kev, sorry.
What's the gap between 1st and 2nd?
1 second, .032.
So a whole second between the Williams pair on the front row. Steve takes the shortest possible route to the line. It's not good enough though. Still in P8. GT5 in the other Force India, his teammate just ahead of him in 7th. This looks like an outlap from him. We'll try and come back to it.
Yeah, that's an outlap.
Danev's with a bit of lag. Over Dyking, he was the first one we watched the lap, runs wide in the 4th last corner. And this looks like an outlap as well, so I'm not sure how long's left of the session. It's a time lap. We'll just go back momentarily on board. I haven't got a timer how long's left on the session. Do we have know? Do we know?
5 minutes.
So the 5-minute warning's out, so Dom's going into the pits.
He's gone for the pits, he's went in.
James in 3rd and stays in 3rd, but this could have been an outlap, so we'll see if he's going for a flying lap or not.
Yeah, he's gone for a flying lap. This is his timed lap.
This is Jamie James's time lap. I think it pretty much caught everyone at least once on camera doing something in qualifying, which is always nice. And James was pretty much the last one and he's lost it. Part of his front wing's gone, but remember we've turned off, returned to the pit, so he's got to drive all the way around the track, come in, get it repaired and go out. Has he got enough time? We'll soon see. Meanwhile, back to Sergeant Hitman in P9 in the Red Bull.
I think that's why he goes there. He thought he was going to be able to do it and then realised.
He realised he couldn't do it. We keep it on in practice, obviously, just to save time. Practice is only practice, but in the actual official front row racing sessions, the races today and tomorrow, we do turn off the turn to pit. For mainly safety reasons, because if you were to pull off the racing line and you press pause, the car automatically starts up again, moves automatically to the racing line. Somebody could be on a flying lap, even though 99% of the time it goes out the car. There's always that 1% chance it doesn't, and someone's lap could be ruined. Sergeant Hitman, very scruffy lap for him at the moment. Doesn't look like he's going to improve on P9. He's took a couple of bollards out. Locks up slightly in the 2nd last, and doesn't really find the ideal line through the corner either. I don't think GT5's doing anything. Looks like he's coming. Not sure if this is the end of a. Looks like the end of a flying lap. He's in 7th no matter what. James going out for another. Or is James coming into the pits to repair his wing? Will he have time to repair it and get out again? Dave on track. Kev looks safe at the moment, but you can never count Dave out, as we know in front row racing. Sometimes he may look slack in practice, but you can never count him out.
Dave's got to keep pushing. He's got Jamie James not that far behind him, and I'm talking only 2 digits away.
2 digits, 200s or 2000s or 210s. Sure we'll find out at the end of the session.
3.32 to 0.63.
It's very close for second and third at the moment.
From second to fifth, it's quite possible that could all change about.
On board GT5. Brilliant camera, that one. I love that one at Malaysia, just sweeping through the fourth and third last corners. The angle it shows the car. He heads down the back straight now into the last corner. Slight lock up, but he makes the apex, uses all of the track on the exit to the line, and still in P7. I'm not sure if it could be track conditions maybe the track conditions gone down 2 or 3 degrees and that's why lap times aren't improving now, or maybe we're just not seeing parts of laps that have ended up being a bit scruffy. Dan House runs wide.
This will be his last lap to try and improve. We're down at the 1:10 mark now.
So we're at the 1:10, so those who are on a lap now, this will be the last lap. Those who are just about to start one, or within 1 minute of the finishing line to start one. Over Dyking's in fourth. So at the moment it's all Mercedes, it's all Williams on the front, all Lotus second row. And Emerson sixth. Looks like he's coming to the end of the lap. Yeah, there's just a little bit of lag on the stream we're seeing of him. It's not that untidy, but doesn't improve. He's got time to put another one in though if he wishes. I think Rian's session's done. He's gearing up and saving fuel. That's why he's saving fuel, just keeping the engine on tick over Dav de Harp. We've lost him. So GT in 7th. Checkered flags out over Dyking. Did he get over the line in time? James did. He's on his final lap. Dave just about, with about 15 seconds to go, starts his, and Kev coming to the end of his. So he's just over the sector 2 line now. Will he improve on his already massive margin of just over a second ahead of second place? Total dominance in qualifying so far, but never count Dave out.
He's down a second in his first sector.
Who, Kev?
So Kev is.
So Kev won't improve. James and Dave are the ones to keep their eyes out on at the moment. James is going to finish before, so we'll go on with James. Just 2 corners to go and 2 straights to go. Dav de Harp's come back, so he will take the start, but he'll be last. DRS open for James. Down the back straight. Oh, tell you what, he went a bit off there and he's missed the apex completely at the last corner. His chance of a front row start may well have just gone. There you have. We're going to try and see if we can get Dave. We can't go on board with Dave, we're on board with Dom.
I can get Dave.
He goes across the line with Steve have got as well, but so Dave didn't improve, James didn't improve, so Kev, unless Steve pulls something out of the hat we don't expect, with just 1 corner to go. Or is he coming into the pits? He is coming into the pits, so that is session over. And what we thought could be a close battle for pole in the end turned out to be a whitewash, really. Dave did improve to get within 6/10, 1 minute 37 flat in the end. Kev 1 minute 36.4 though, unbeaten. And it was a Williams front row lockout. Both Lotuses in the second row. James ahead of Dom. British 1, 2, 3. James in 5th, Dan House 6th, GT5 7th. So both Force Indias 7th and 8th, Sergeant Hitman in the lone Red Bull in this race in 9th. Dav the Heart will start in 10th, although he might start behind us who are all spectating. Me, Ray and Paul have seen him join. So he's got a few cars to pick his way through. Dav the Heart's time was 12 seconds away. That was qualifying over, Ray. Any thoughts on the qualifying?
I thought there would have been a bit better time, but it just shows you that dynamic weather.
Does indeed. We did say, well, we noticed as well that those who got in the positions they did, it was very early in the session, so maybe the track conditions just went a little bit worse against the tyres, and that's why we couldn't really see much improvement. So we're just about to see the grid.
You're on 10, so you can qualify top 10.
I can't change my tyres at the start with that. So as we say, 1st and 2nd in the championship last year, in 1st and 2nd on the grid for this race, albeit in the wrong way round. So we're on the grid, pretty much go straight into the race, no let up. The race countdown has started, 24 seconds to go. I'm just gonna get in my spec. Just waiting on a couple of others. Dav the Harp did not make the start, so we will have just 9 runners in this World Championship race. Here we go. We have 2 lights, 3, 4, 5, hold, and we're away in Malaysia. Got to retire very, very quickly and hopefully catch the start. We're going to try and get on board the leaders if we can. We'll go on board James Hulkenberg. Looks like Kev's going to keep the lead. We can't see because we're on board the wrong guy.
No, Dave's on.
Oh, we've got a contact. It looks like James Hulkenberg. Dave's got into the lead over Dyking. What's happened to Jammy James? He's way down the order. He's in last place. We're not sure what happened. James Hulkenberg though in 2nd, challenging Dave for the lead. Oh, both Williams have gone wide and over Dyking up the inside of the Ferrari now. It's a Ferrari 1st and the Lotus in 2nd. Both Williams have lost out badly there. They've tripped over cars. I'm not sure if it was all their own doing, but we did see James Hulkenberg, what it looked like he tapped Dave. James Hulkenberg's gone wide and over Dyking going up the inside. And over Dyking's pushed James wide, and Dave and Dom have come together. And they've both lost out, but James Hulkenberg has regained the lead. Oh, well, he stopped. I'm not sure why he stopped. And look at the Force India of Steve, and what is going on in this first 2 seconds of this lap? Kev's back in the lead. Dom's in 2nd. Steve's challenging Dave for 3rd.
I've got a shadow guy behind Dan Neves.
We're going on board with Steve, and it looks like that someone's gone off. Unless that was just a glitch that we just seen. Dave's in 3rd now. That looks like that's settled. Steve was in 4th, but he's ran wide and he's under pressure now from Sergeant Hitman. And Dan House has gone into 4th. Well, we're not sure what's happened to Jammy James. He's at the back. GT5's also at the back in 8th. We've got yellow flags out. I'm not sure if that's just, yeah, it's just there's no safety. There's no way. We don't have safety car on this, of course. How silly of me. James Hulkenberg in 7th, Sergeant Hitman in 6th. Well, if it's all settled down, we're going to try and get you. Well, we'll try and get you a race order. Kev's in the lead. Over Dyking in 2nd. Dave's in 3rd. Steve's in 4th. Dan House in 4th. Steve's in 5th. After that, it's anyone's guess. James Hulkenberg 6th, Sergeant Hitman 7th. In 8th is GT5 King. Even as to just say that, Harrison, Sergeant Hitman's just gone wide. And then 9th place and last is Jamie James at the minute. Jamie James, I'm not sure what happened. Didn't quite catch it on the broadcast. I seen him go into turn 1, 3 abreast. After that, Dave might have caught it on his live stream. I certainly never. Well,
I don't know if they desynced for a minute there, because Jamie James was a shadow on the track for me for a while.
Oh, looks like Steve's going for... Sorry, not Steve. Dave's going for 2nd place. He's side by side with overtaking. No DRS just yet. It will be active the next lap, though. So it's back as a Williams 1-2, we think. Yes, it is. So Dave doing what he needs to do and get the cars out the way early that he lost positions to. I'll tell you what, Ray. Talk about that first lap if you can. Just sum that up. That was just drama all the way round.
Yeah, contact to everything. And I think there was contact with Sergeant Hitman and Jamie James in the last corner with the last lap, and that's why James is away back down.
Yeah, I thought it. You're probably right, because I said that, I mentioned on commentary, I thought I'd seen someone go off. I didn't see who it was.
That was Sergeant Hitman.
So, with the exception of Jamie James in 3rd, the top 4 are as you were, just overtaking, and the other Lotus has moved up into 3rd. Jamie James at the moment at the back, but there's only 9 runners, so just keep going, you're going to score points. Simple as that. Kev finds a little bit of air, but I'm sure that was just a live stream. Oh, GT5's gone off. Just happened to switch to him and he might have caught the curb, but he's just got going again. Now he's in last. Sergeant Hitman getting challenged by James for 7th. And James is up into 7th, so he's progressing back to the field. And GT5's got horrible understeer. I'm not sure if that's set up or damage or... could be a number of things. Adam's rejoined us back. James Hulkenberg in 6th. Steve in 5th. Danov's pulling away from now. Steve locks up into the last corner. But James Hulkenberg not close enough this time round to have a go into turn 1. And the lone Mercedes in this race. Not sure if he's catching Dom, but he's keeping in touch at least. Perhaps just seeing what's going to develop in front.
There's a yellow flag. Oh no, it's away now.
Yeah, I think on this game for some reason the yellow flag just comes out for daft reasons. You could put like 2 wheels on the grass on the exit of the corner and the yellow flag comes out, so you know there's a number of things that can come out for it. It might be meaningful. They can see the green flag out, so whether something's happened behind Dan I'm not too sure. I think we've got a sort of running order now. Someone's logged onto the front row racing account, I'm not sure who that is. GT5 running wide again, I'm not sure if it's damage or something like that. Meantime, James is catching up, James Hulkenberg I should say. James Hulkenberg is catching up to Steve. Or Kudos as he used to be known. Now he's known as Front Row Racing GP. Jamie James at the minute still a bit back, but he has got a bit of clear track now, so with a bit of clear air it'll be interesting to see how quick he can go and if he can cast the 2 ahead of him. Oh, and James Hulkenberg and Steve coming together there slightly, both got away with it. But as they head down now, James Hulkenberg has the DRS and both men touch. Oh, James Hulkenberg and Steve. I'm not sure if this is just my stream or this is legitimately happening or not. But we've got these two who look like they're just lagging all over each other, and yeah, there's definitely something not right there. But either way, Jamie James has got ahead of Steve, so he's now up into 5th and he's going to be in pursuit of Danos. Overtaking losing ground to the 2 Williams now. And Danos still, gap's pretty much the same between 3rd and 4th, but it looks like it has closed between the 2 Williams. This is lap 5 now.
I think if James Hulkenberg's in front of Steve, then I think he's got a wee bit of lag. Because on my screen he's just a shadow on the track.
Well, on the actual live stream they were bashing into each other, so I'm not too sure what's going on. Kev with a big lock up into the second last, and Dave sort of gone wide in sympathy and he's lost a bit of ground. If anything, Kev's actually pulled away despite locking up. But Dave really has now got the bit between his teeth, we think. He's putting Kev under a lot of pressure. DRS is open, but I think he's still a little bit too far away to realistically make the pass this time round. But forever the hunter, and Dave went very deep into turn one then. Still makes the apex towards the end of the corner. As you head up to turn 4, the marshal's still waving green flags. We don't know why there's green flags out. Seem to have gone on for 6 laps now.
If these two keep fighting, it could bring third place back in place.
Jamie James is catching Steve just up the road. In turn, Steve's staying in touch with James Hulkenberg as well. Sergeant Hitman catching GT5, both men go a little bit wide. I'm trying to see if we can see
Kev's ghosting.
Oh, Kev's ghosting. Dave's gone into the lead. Kev's short shifting. I'm not sure if he's on pause or the computer's controller. Maybe Kev could be about to retire from this race. He's definitely short shifting. Unless he's got a problem. Oh, now he's suddenly kicked back into life, it seems. I'm not sure what happened to Kev then. Could have been a slight wheel issue when he pressed pause and the computer took over, but either way, both Williams have swapped position. And Kev's got it all to do now. He now becomes the hunter and not the hunted. And as I've always said, on any racing game, it's always easier following the car than it is staying ahead of the car. You're constantly looking over your shoulder, and especially on this game, Ray, as well, where you know there's a car behind you and you get the arrows and you're not quite sure, can you trust the driver behind you to sort of not make a daft move and lunge. It's just little things like that that can play on drivers' minds. It does happen.
Yep.
Well, the Dyking in third, looks like he's pulling away from Dan now.
Should be coming in.
Jamie James has got ahead of Steve. We didn't see it, but Jamie James has got ahead of Steve into 6 now. Yellow flag's out again.
I don't know if it's desynced and that's why the yellow flags are out.
The GT5 in 8th. Hitman's staying in touch, so there's no car that's like miles behind and
Kev's went wide.
Out of touch. Kev's gone wide. Kev's losing ground. I'm not sure if he's got a fundamental car issue or whether it's an issue with his setup at home, or he's definitely losing time now. We're not quite in the pit window. We'll just leave Ray to talk. I'm just going to leave Ray to talk for a moment while I just get myself a quick drink because my throat's killing.
Yeah, I think it'll be this lap for the pit window. Let's see. Seems as if it's all spread out now. Sergeant Hitman and Rian. Oh, we slide for front row GP. I think they'll be putting in the next 2 laps. This lap and the next lap, I'd see them putting in.
So, have you seen anyone pit at the moment?
Not yet.
Steve's down in 9th. I'm not sure if
They might have.
he may have pitted. He was losing time. He just about lost 6th place a lap ago. Dave carries on. Will Kev pit in? No, he carries on as well. So just sort of flicking through to see if anyone's gonna come in. No overtaking.
Dom's went straight.
And Danos is the first lead car to pit. James Hulkenberg carries on. So we have got at least one guy in the pits. GT5's coming in. The space, so go for it if you can. I'm coming in to watch. There's invisible Force India mechanics, as you can see just at the top of the screen. So James Hulkenberg now finds himself in 4th. Well, only momentarily, I'm sure. Danos has just made his first pit stop with likely to be 2.
I wonder which one of the Williams will pit first.
And that's what we're all keeping an eye on. It's going to be crucial to the battle for the lead. It'll be Dave's choice first, as he's the lead Williams on track. So of course, if you're ahead of your teammate, you get first dibs on strategy. And from this camera angle we're looking at now, the tyres don't look too bad, but they are the white stripes, so they seem less gradient than what they actually are, but could very well be a handful. Dave carries on. Kev pits. Dom's catching Kev quite alarmingly, but he pits as well. Could be a...
Will Kev get the undercut?
I think Delta time probably may, depending on what tyres he goes on as well. He's going on the hards, so he could potentially gain 1 or 2 seconds Delta time, but he was losing a lot of time. Was quite a long way back in the end, so looks like Overdiking's put full wets on. Might just be, I hope he hasn't. Be a bit weird. He's on blue tyres. I'm not sure if he's actually on blue tyres though, or if it's just my camera.
All I can see is blue tyres as well.
Has he gone into full wets? Is he?
I think he has.
He's, well, talk about, well, you could call it a roll of the dice, but it's blue sky, as we can see, and I think we've just seen perhaps one of Front Row Racing's biggest boobs live, and has just given...
Everybody's gone past them.
We have absolutely no idea what has just occurred. I thought at first it was just the live. I thought at first it was just a stream from the cars playing up and show blue tyres, but with 4 cars now gone past them, clearly. Well, I don't know about you, Ray, but I'm kind of lost for words on that one.
Yeah, either he's I don't know if he's on a wheel or a pad. He's pressed something.
Meanwhile,
he's on a pad.
back on planet Earth, Dave is in the pits, so we'll see now. He's going on the hards, so we'll see if he can keep his lead or if Kev will get the jump on him.
Kev's coming down the last straight now.
Dave's at the exit. Is it enough? We're at camera angles on Dave. It looks like he's kept his lead. And indeed he has. Quite comfortably in the end. Although Kev's tyres are up to temperature. Meanwhile, back in the Netherlands, Dom is coming into the pits to, I assume, take off the wet tyres. Well, there goes a podium.
Now the two Force Indias are close together. I'd say a second to 2 seconds away from each other.
And Dom is stone dead last.
Steve's ghosted as well. Rian's got the place. But no, he's not. He's coming back round.
Just about caught it. A view from Steve's rear wing, with GT behind. It's about the closest battle on track at the moment, we think.
I think Rian's went back to his pad because his wheel was giving him bother. His accelerator pedal wasn't working properly.
Both Force Indians coming down the back straight. Rian's got the DRS. Can he get 6th place from his teammates? He goes straight past with ease, but Steve may have just tried to get the cut back but couldn't do it. And look at the speed that Rian's got compared to his teammate. Just pulling away down the pit straight as they head into turn 1. Looks like we're on board a helicopter at the moment with this camera angle. Brilliant view of this battle. Steve a bit wide out at turn 2. See if there's any other developments up the road. James Hulkenberg are only 5th at the minute, and well, to be honest with you, he's actually not too far behind Danevs. Actually, didn't see Danevs at first. I thought he had a clear track in front, so could be an interesting battle developing for 4th very soon. Jamie James, who I'm not sure if he's pitted though, but he does find himself in 3rd place after a horrible start, so he's back where he was in qualifying, but as I said, I'm not sure if he's pitted or not yet. I tell you what, if he has pitted, he's absolutely flying at the moment. He's not that far behind Kev. And this is lap 12. Carrying on again for another lap.
His tyres look fresh to me, they don't look any worn.
I'll tell you what, considering where he was to where he is now and how far he is behind the 2 Williams, a couple of laps time we could be in for an interesting little battle. Caution, yellow flags ahead again. Not sure who for or why. It seems to be the story of the race so far. Oh, and like I said, there was a battle developing, and here it is for 4th place. And again, James Hulkenberg and Danevs. James Hulkenberg airborne again. I'm not sure if it's his connection, because it's happened with 3 drivers now. It's happened with Steve, it's happened with Dave on the first lap, and now it's happened with Danevs.
Yeah, I can't get on board with James Hulkenberg, but as I see him on the track, it's a shadow on the track.
So maybe the drivers who are actually watching in this race live, possibly not seeing it properly. Either way. So we're nearly at the halfway distance, and oh, Jamie James was deep into the last corner. Thought he might have been coming in the pits. Yellow flags on the pit straight again. Looks like Kev's actually catching Dave now, so this could get very, very tasty before we're all said and done for a week here in Malaysia in the World Championship. Of course, World Series tomorrow, same time, same distance, different drivers of course.
Yeah, and you'll see me racing there. First time in about a year.
Ray, looks like Ray's given Samara a go. Missed most of last season. I think you raced 1 or 2, didn't you, Ray? But
Yeah.
so he's making his PS4 official debut, even though he's had a couple of races, of course. But I'll tell you what, the whole of the Netherlands must be devastated at the moment with Dominic overdiking with that horrific error in the pits. He's stone dead last. He's about 10 seconds behind Sergeant Hitman in 8th, his next position up the road. So Rian now is pulling away from Steve. Both Fortini's in 6th and 7th. Regardless, it's still solid points for the team. Rian's sliding all over the place.
Kev still closing in.
Yeah, bit by bit you can see the gap shrinking. Playing the long game, and he's past half distance now, 14 laps down, 14 to go. So Kev knows there's still a lot of racing, a lot of mistakes can happen, a lot of time to gain, a lot of time to lose. It's not all over here, but it's looking good for Williams at the moment. On for another 1-2. And they definitely are in the World Championship, the dominant package at the moment.
What do you think? 2 stops, 3 stops?
Well, we've seen Kev pit on lap 9, Dave on lap 10. I think we'll look at 1 more stop each for pretty much everybody, because don't forget it as well, it is the 2 hardest compounds. They do last quite a while. It's not the worst track in the world for tyres, because they are the 2 most durable compounds, although they are the most slowest. But like I said, everybody has to use them. There's no one who can have the option to use any others. And if you can go that far on soft tyres that you've qualified on lap 9, 10, yeah, you're only looking really at another stop, and these can probably last till about lap 20, 21, maybe even lap 19. You might see a couple of them, because if you can do 9 laps on what are effectively used option tyres this weekend, you'll have no problem doing 9 laps on option tyres at the end. But again, it depends how many drivers have saved the set in case they want to go back to options, because you had quite a lot of guys who were going out for multiple runs in qualifying and probably used up most of the option tyres, so they might not have any sets left. They might have to use the hard tyres again. Just seen James go in the pits, not James Hulkenberg, Jammy James. Good spot there from the Nightman. Hard tyres on. Potentially James could go to the end here. He could probably quite easily do 12. If the options can do 9 laps, these could possibly do 12 laps. Well, that's actually 13 laps. Oh, he comes out very close to GT5. It's important he stays ahead though, if he wants to gain the time now before the Williams pit, to see if he can get the undercut on them in a couple of laps time. But Rian's doesn't give up, and he's staying right with him. Thinks better of it, and James keeps 5th.
James went wide.
Oh, he's gone wide, and well, that's one thing he could not afford to do, and he's done exactly that.
But
Kev's still closing in on Dave. Dave's still got track position, so he has the opportunity, he has the chance to pick the strategy. Kev pitted first last time, but
Dave has something to get back. Oh, they've touched. Oh, they're okay, they'll keep going.
Both Williams carry on. But like I said, Dave needs to think here. He needs to take the, even though he's in the lead, he does need to take the fight to Kev. He can't let Kev pit again first. If Kev pits again first with that gap, he's gonna jump him.
Dave has to. Rian's fighting like mad. Sorry.
He's going back, and Jamie James has got back ahead on my screen.
Yeah, he's ahead.
Rian's gone a bit wide. And looks like James has got the jump, but that was time lost that he couldn't afford to lose if he wants to have a chance at the win here. Steve's in last. I'm not sure if he's just pitted again, because he was in 7th, or he's had an off. Overtaking, that means he's gone up a place, despite the calamities of earlier on. Sergeant Hitman, very quiet race from Sergeant Hitman, but he's still going. He's in 7th. No retirement so far. Jamie James sliding all over the place. Just can't get these hard tyres to work for him at the moment. And tidy to the left-right, so compromises exit. And the fight's over just for the time being. Both Williams approaching last corner. Do you care to pick who you think's going to win, Ray?
Oh, I don't know, it could be either two. I'd say Kev.
I'm going to go with the guy who pits first. Because with that gap, if Kev pits first, he's going to get the jump on him when Dave comes out. If Dave pits first, he's taking the fight to Kev. And Dave has the option. If Dave doesn't pit first, it's his own fault.
And Kev's been ahead of them in practice, so he's been looking strong.
Yeah, the form guide would tell you to put your money on Kev, but it's too close to call.
Adam, who do you think?
We've got 11 laps to go, including the one we're on at the moment. 10 after this. Dave looks like he's losing grip, even though he pitted after Kev. Kev looks like he's got more in his tyres than what Dave has. Maybe Kev can just work the hard tyres better than what Dave can, but of course Dave was flying in the opening part of this race. Got the lead, although we're not exactly sure how at this point, until Kev will probably give us an explanation after if he had a problem or just ghosted out. But will anyone pit this time, or will they wait another lap? Both carry on. One more time, James Hulkenberg now finds himself in 3rd. Dan Evs has lost ground to him and he's in 4th. And looks like Rian's pitted, we've missed it, because both Force Indians are in 8th and 9th, and Steve's ahead of GT again. So could it be Force India battle round 2, as we've seen earlier on? Overtaking, that means he's now into 7th, although he does have to pit again. And in that position, you might just risk it and think I could possibly go to the end, depends how I feel on these tyres. Of course he's done 1 lap less, of course, because he put the wet tyres on. And technically he has made 2 stops. James up to 4th. Dan Evs is in the pits, that's why I was wondering where someone had gone. Makes sense. James Hulkenberg, he's on the options. I think he did start on the options as well, so he's still got the hard tyre to come. So maybe when the other drivers are on the options, will he be able to hang on?
Kev seems stronger in the middle sector compared to Dave, and then Dave pulls away in the straights. Maybe
different setups from both Williams. No sharing the strategy in this team. No. The pit window is open now. Will one pit? It's going to be Kev. Well, talk about a roll of the dice from Dave here. He had the opportunity to pit before Kev. He hasn't taken it. But Dave must keep absolutely on it, because he's going to have a Williams with fresh rubber behind him. But of course it all depends on where Kev comes out, if he comes out in clear air or not. If he gets stuck in traffic, it could be a different story. And looks like James Hulkenberg's gone through, but shouldn't be a factor in holding Kev up at this point in time. And here's the option tyres as predicted. 9 laps to go, including the one we're on. It's about to get very, very tasty in this race. Jamie James has actually lost ground. The scrap with Rian hasn't helped. He's lost ground to Kev despite undercutting about 3 or 4 laps ago. But again, that's racing, I suppose. Overdiking in the pits. Make sure he puts the right tyres on this time. He'll be kicking himself for that one, but unfortunately I won't let him live it down for the time being. Sergeant Hitman gets out ahead. Very close on track between them two. So at least Overdiking will have a battle with someone from now till the end. Dave down the back straight. Crucial moments. This could decide the race. And he's in the pits this lap. If someone could keep an eye on where Kev is, will be very, very interesting to see.
Straight.
He's coming down the back straight. It's a long pit lane as well here in Malaysia. It just seems like you're on it forever. And of course with the slower speed limits as well this year, it just seems like you're just driving down slowly and slowly. Ferrari are out in the pits. I think Kev's coming down the main straight.
Yeah, he's coming.
Dave's not at the line yet.
Oh, I can see Dave. Oh, this is going to be tight.
This is going to be very close. I said it would be close.
Holy.
But Kev's up the inside.
Dave's given the room.
He gave him the room, but he's held on to the lead for now. But they've still got the great thing about Malaysia, you can battle all the way to turn 4, side by side. It doesn't matter, and Kev's in the lead, is he? Although Dave's up the inside.
Side by side. I've got it now.
Kev's got it. I said it all along, even though Dave's got 1 lap newer rubber in those tyres, it could play into his hands a little bit later on. But I said if Kev pits first, he'll get out ahead. And it could cost Dave the race. Do you know what? Every time I commentate, I always predict something right in these races, and that's not me being big-headed. No one ever listens to me, even though he can't hear me.
You better watch. You might not get out your bedroom.
That's why I'm a team manager. I'm the ultimate strategist, and Dave could well have just cost himself 7 points against his teammate and championship rival here. Jamie James is back up into 3rd because James Hulkenberg pitted. James Hulkenberg down to 4th and on the hard tyres now, so. But then again, so is Jamie James, so we could have ourselves an interesting battle. And of course, Jamie James's tyres are about 5 laps older. So that could be a bit interesting. Dan Evson, a lonely 5th. GT and Steve 6th and 7th. Overdiking's got ahead of Sergeant Hitman now.
Dave's coming back.
Oh, and up the inside. Just about come back to it in time. Kev hanging on for the time being. With the long drag up to turn 4. It's where Kev got Dave on the last lap. Can Dave get it back? Not this time just yet.
I think this is going to be a battle to the line.
I think at some point, whether it's now or whether it's in 2 laps time, it could settle down just a little bit and it could decide the race. Dave's coming out fighting, he's not giving up that easily. Kev has dominated, as I've been told, through practice. He was on pole. Can he take the race win as well though? You can never trust the form guide in these type of races. You can trust it in terms of who's going to be up there. But if someone says Kev's dominating practice, does not necessarily mean he's going to walk the race. We've seen that today.
With this DRS coming, I think Dave is going to get it because he was closer now than he was the last lap.
So we've got 6 laps to go at the end of this one. It's Kev from Dave. We're trying to play the game fair and try and see if we can see anyone else. James Hulkenberg, I think he's closing in on the other James ahead. Will it be quick enough near the end of the race? We'll wait and see on that one. Sergeant Hitman at the back in a lowly 9's not been his weekend. Not quite got to grips with the complete no assist that we've got contact. Was that Stephen?
Overdyke, King, Dom.
Dominic Overdyking and Steve coming together. That was the battle for 7th. Looks like Steve's in 8th, on board with Sergeant Hitman at the moment.
Yeah, and that's brought Sergeant Hitman up. I don't know what happened there.
It's settled down at the front a little bit now. Okay, can he? Is he going to hang on? Don't forget, we still need to point out the fact that Dave does have one less lap rubber on the tyres. One more lap rubber on the tyres than what Kev, beg your pardon. So he's still close, so if on the last lap it does start to fade away for Kev, Dave could be there to pounce, and maybe now that's what Dave's thinking, just keep up, don't make any silly mistakes or unnecessary dives up the inside that you don't need to, and just try and play the long game. Even though there's only 5 laps to go now, a race does last, well this race at least, does last 28 laps, it doesn't last anything less. Like the football expression, every football game lasts 90 minutes, it's the same with a race, it does last all the way to the line. I'll just try and see if we've got 5 laps to go, as we've said numerous times now. I'm getting a bit fed up saying it. James Hulkenberg, I think he is closing in on Jamie James for the final podium spot. Maybe on the last lap something interesting could happen. Dan Evans is flying now that he's on options, and James Hulkenberg's on primes, but he's locked up heavily in turn 4. That's cost him some time and probably some rubber.
Overtaking.
He is indeed. Just about turned them on right at that very second as well, as you've said that. GT5 in 6th at the moment, Overdyking in 7th. Sergeant Hitman in 8th, and Steve's in 9th. Steve, I'm not sure if he's got damage from the contact that he had with Dominic before, but he's in last, and Dan Evans has gone. It's the first retirement. I've just seen it on the screen, and what would have been a good 5th position, possibly even higher. He was flying on those option tyres. It's not to be now. We've got 8 runners left.
Dom's going to get Rian, he's right up there behind him.
We're on board with Overdyking, and this battle now, we've gone to the television camera. GT5 now up into 5th with Dan Evans retiring. Overdyking, no. Oh, Rian's gone wide. And Dominic takes 5th. He's recovering well. But what might have been for Dominic Overdyking, if it weren't for the most stupid of errors at the first pit stop. And yeah, he is on the option tyres, so he does have to, even though Rian's got... Ooh, Rian thought he got very close there with the DRS under braking. He'll get DRS again, so maybe... excuse me. Maybe this battle isn't quite over yet.
I think he's going for it.
Dom's ran wide though, so it hasn't helped. Rian's still there, but Dominic will have the inside on the second corner. And he keeps 5th for the time being. Meantime, back at the front, Kev pulling away from Dave now. Gap's opened up slightly. I'm sure we'd like to get a word with Dave just before we go off the air. It'll be the question I'm certainly going to ask. How come he didn't pit before his teammate? He had the option to. He was the lead Williams on track, and it has potentially cost him the win here this evening. I called it halfway through the race. Said he needs to play it again. He needs to play it into his own hands. Instead, he played it into his teammates' hands, and it played out exactly how Kev hoped it would. I'm on board with James Hulkenberg, who doesn't look like he's making any real impression now on Jamie James, so it looks like Jamie James could be safe in third place, although those tyres are very old now. So, I say that, and I think that might have just been lag actually, but I thought Jamie James had just gone straight into the grass. It does sound as though those tyres are starting to go, so maybe I did speak too soon on this one. Might not just be over yet. Maybe James Hulkenberg could find himself up there on the podium in the end. Now the flag's out again. Really no idea what's going on. No one's actually been lapped yet, so everyone on the lead lap, which is a good sign, of course. Looks like Steve's conceded to finishing in 8th and last. He's a fair bit behind Sergeant Hitman, who in turn has got a bit of a gap between himself and Rian, so could pretty much say that the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th could be settled. It's the question on who's going to be the last man on the podium and who is going to be the winner of this race. At the moment, with just one lap to go after this, looks like it could be Dave. Hopefully we can invite Kev, Dave and Jamie James into here for a little podium interview as they do in real life Formula 1, just for their thoughts on the race and how it carried out.
I'll try and sort that out.
And he's going to try his best to do that, of course. And it's been quite a fascinating race, hasn't it, Ray? I mean, we've seen first lap especially was quite dramatic. No one's really threatened Williams for the lead. Dominic came close but kind of shot himself in his foot. Just as you were, Kev on pole. Not sure if we've got a fastest lap from any of these. Maybe he could have the hat-trick here. He's certainly been strongest through practice out of the two of them, and for a slight spell in the first stint you could say that he's actually probably wanted the race as well. He has been faster than Dave. Dave will probably admit that himself, although what might have been if he did pit first on the second pit stops, could have been looking at himself on the top spot and not his teammate. And this is the final lap now. Jamie James still comfortably in third, although James Hulkenberg is closing in. Probably is not going to get there. Well, he was outclassed by Dave in Australia, but this weekend it has belonged to Dave.
Going slow.
It has belonged to Kev.
Is he
Someone
running out of fuel?
GT5 King, is he going slow?
GP, Steve.
Oh, Steve, he was in last anyway, so I think he's just waiting for the Williams to go past. Actually, he doesn't want to do another lap. There's no point. He's not going to gain nothing from it. But it's going to be Kev's day in Malaysia, round the final corner, and it'll take his first win of the season. It's another Williams 1-2, but in the reverse order from Australia. Kev wins it, Dave's going to be second, Jamie James should hang on to third. Of those tyres have done 14 laps almost, quite incredible, done half the race. It was a good recovery after a bad first lap. He did qualify in third though, so the top three, also the top three in the race as well as qualifying, although James Hulkenberg is getting closer and closer. Probably another lap or two he could have seen himself on the podium. But it is going to be Jamie James and it is going to be Lotus who take that final spot. Steve finishes a lap down, so 8th place is decided over Dyking. I've said it, excuse me, I've said it a number of times throughout the race. Ray's seen it himself. What might have been if he didn't have that horrible error in the first pit stops, where he put the wet tyres on, had to do an entire lap. He dropped to the back of the field but recovers well to finish in 5th. So Lotus 3rd and 5th. GT5 going to be the highest of the two Force Indias to finish. Steve's already finished the lap down. I think it is Sergeant Hitman who's going to be the last to finish. Danevs is the only retirement from those who started the race. We lost a couple in qualifying as well, Dav the Heart being one of them. Well, what an incredible race there is. Williams 1-2 and James Hulkenberg's in 3rd, so it looks like James may have had a pen. And James Hulkenberg does find himself on the podium in the end.
That was interesting.
It's just when we've seen Kimi Räikkönen pop out in Ferrari overalls, that means that James Hulkenberg did get there in the end. But of course, I've got no live timing or stewards info from the race director, so I'm not sure the penalties. I'll know who got penalties now. But there's the result. Kev 187, 5-second penalty, so he's lost the podium by 2 seconds. Williams 1-2, as I've already pointed out. Scuderia, James Hulkenberg with 3rd, and that is Ferrari's first podium of the year. 4th and 5th for Lotus. Jamie James over Dyking. GT5 in 6th. Sergeant Hitman in 7th. He also had a penalty, but because Steve finished the lap down, penalty basically becomes useless. Doesn't really change his position or anything. And Steve, of course, in 8th, the last of the finishers. And the only DNF of the race was Danevs, who was driving brilliantly in 5th, but unfortunately for him, it just didn't quite hold out his connection. And I think Ray's going to try and sort out the top 3. Going to try and get into the top 3. I've not commentated on a front row race for a while. Voice does go sometimes at the end.
Alright, this is coming in, I'm just sending invites.
Okie, so we're going to try and get the top 3 in. We've got the 3rd place driver in. We are still alive. Please, no swearing. I'm just waiting for the top 2, the 2 Williams men. We will shortly be going off the air, probably in a couple of minutes' time.
I've sent the invites.
It was in the Renault from
Jamie James had a penalty.
Hello.
Here comes the runner-up of today's race. I made some very interesting comments on the broadcast, and of course the race winner. All three are now here. I hope you can hear them on the broadcast. I'm just going to ask them a couple of questions, and we'll start with the race winner. First winner in 2015, Kev 187. How does it feel to win your first race of the year?
To get the monkey off my back so early. I'm really pleased. It was a good race, very tough race actually in this stage. I made a mistake in qualifying and did about 3, 4, 5 laps on the tyres, so that's
very nice. We pointed out as well, this is actually probably a question for both Dave and Kev. Around lap 15-16 I made a comment, you'll probably see it when the video goes live, that I said whoever pits first out of the two Williams is going to go on to win this race. And I made the suggestion that it's in Dave's hands because at the time obviously he had the track position. I mean, I'll ask Dave first the question because obviously it was him not pitting first. Why you had the track position, you had the choice, you didn't go for it? I just want to know your thoughts on that.
To be honest, it was a bit of a team game there. In qualifying, Kev didn't improve on his lap time, so he started on a set of tyres that were a hell of a lot more worn than mine. So when it came to the start of the race, it was a case of Kev would probably have to pit earlier than myself. And I had the aim of, let's see if we can get to lap 10. That was my goal. So as we were going round, it sort of got to the pit stop windows, and Kev simply asked, Dave, when are you pitting? I said, I'm going to go for another lap, mate, so you can box now. So it was mainly just playing a teammate game because of what happened in qualifying. As simple as that, really.
But not to cause any sort of... I'm just playing sort of devil's advocate here. Obviously, you two are the two championship favourites, even despite the fact you're both teammates. I've got to ask the tough questions. You've cost yourself 7 points on your teammate today. Now, obviously, if you're playing the team game, fair enough, but maybe at some point down the line, at a future race, the decision may not be the same there.
Well, one thing I will say is that, to be honest, it wouldn't have backfired, I don't think, because what happened in the race, in the first stint, Kev had a disconnection of his video equipment on his car, and in the second stint, I had I had a technical issue with my wheel, which popped up a different display on my screen. So we both lost out there. The time I lost in the second stint, when it came to the pit stops, had I not lost that time, I still would have come out ahead of Kev. So instead of coming out side by side and in a battle, I would have had another 2 seconds in me pocket. Now, admittedly, I could have said, right, I'm going to pit early because of that, but I had a strategy. I was going to try and stick to it. We had a great battle. Obviously, towards the end, I was thinking maybe I should have pitted earlier. But to be fair, we play a team game. We win together, we lose together, as long as we don't crash into each other.
Just go back to the race winner, Kev, just for the moment. Then I'm going to come to you, James, I promise. Lap 5 or 6, when you lost the lead, me and Ray both missed it. Ray seen it. It looked like your car ghosted out. I just want to know what the problem was, or whether there was something that was just.
No, that was when you ghosted because I got sent back to a black screen with an OK message. Sorry, it's the broadcast at the stop message. That's OK. So I was stalled for a few seconds thinking I disconnected from the lobby. And then to press OK and then I was back in the race. So I lost out to Dave, lost a few seconds and then carried on after that.
So Alright, fair enough, thanks for clearing that one up. So, last quick thoughts just from the two of you as teammates. Friends for now, question mark?
I'm sure we'll annoy each other at some point in the season.
I'm sure all teammates do.
Yeah, not yet.
Right, thanks very much.
For all you lot, though, we might have a tactic. I win one, Kev win one. I win one, Kev win one. I win one, Kev win one. You just have to watch this space.
Watch this space indeed. It's a long season, only 2 races to go. Right, James Hulkenberg, Ferrari's first podium of the year, your first podium of the year. Thoughts on the race? You had a dramatic first lap as well, I did notice. Can you talk us through that? Yeah, it was the James penalty in the end that got you the third place, but a third's a third. You know, it was James's own fault. You should have seen what happened to Dover Dyking. Oh my God, it was probably the most shocking thing I think I've ever seen in front row racing history. But he shot himself in the foot, and he had good pace as well. He could have gone on to win, but he didn't. It's a different story. Thanks for joining us, you three. Enjoy it while it lasts, and we'll see you next week in China.
Thank you very much. Well done, James. Well done, Kev.
Alright, and we're going to end the broadcast here. Thanks for watching on Front Row Racing. I'm the boys 5 times, joined by Front Row Racing RI, his real name's Ray. Front Row Racing NW as well has also been joining us, Adam. And it's a thanks from all of us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.